Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is January the 15th, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good on a Wednesday. Actually, I would say the only bad thing is the temperature. It is so cold. It is so cold. We had like the opening part of the day in the single digits, and I'm just not built for it, y'all. I'm just not. My feet, they were getting numb. It was just no good. It was no fun. That being said, like work went well. It went smooth. I dare I say it went smooth. Let's see. After work, what do we do? Oh, also we did get popcorn, a little snack, so we're back in action for the new year. I had like one bag, and I was like, you know what? We're trying to snack less. But then again, we'll come full circle on me and my snacking by the end of this episode. But gym also went well. That was a good time, which is weird to say, right? I kind of realized that sometimes that I was totally the little fat kid who hated gym as a kid, especially because I had gym in the early periods. So like I was always gonna get sweaty and then be upset. Because we like didn't do showers and stuff in my school, so I was just gonna be sweaty and gross and upset for the rest of the day. So I never really enjoyed gym outside of like playing dodgeball, a couple of things, but then you always have to do like, the warm ups and all that bull crap. Which needless to say, I haven't changed. I still don't stretch enough. I need to work on that. But yeah, no, gym was good. It was a good time. It was a vibe. Let's see. Let's go ahead and rewind back to the food corner last night. I made pasta bolognese, another classic. I had the big salad. I had the big salad. Some bread, the bolillo roll, and the bagel. Put them in the air fryer. Got them nice and toasted. Put some pesto on them. You know how I do. Y'all know how I gets down. But yeah, it came together. It was very yummy. Let's see. Is there anything else I really want to report on about my life, my blogging times? No, not really. Let's go ahead. Oh, no. Actually, no. Pause. Let me actually talk about another reason why my day was so good. It kind of like went by so quick for me that it's like it kind of slipped past my brain. Plus, we got a lot of big news to cover. I kind of shifted into accounting mode today because like work was pretty slow. So, I settled up my taxes because I got my W-2s. So I was like, heck yeah. So it was nice to get that done, like lickety split, literally like while I'm at work, multitasking and whatnot. I will say though, it's annoying to do your own taxes and then have to like pay someone out a bunch of money, which is TurboTax. But I mean, yeah, we've talked about TurboTax before, how they're bad. I know, you're preaching to the choir. But also, I hate doing taxes with anyone. Like, there's no app, there's no person that I've sat down with and I've enjoyed it. Period. So yeah, I just like doing them on my own. And, I just take it on the chin when it comes to TurboTax, and we just keep it moving. You know what I mean? They try to do the upsell, like, hey, you want the Max? Like, no, dude, I don't need Max. Like, I don't need TurboTax Max. Like, this is crazy. Go sit on the bench. Anyway, yeah, now let's get into that startup. There we go. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. Ooh. Okay. Ooh-wee. First story comes from CNN. Israel and Hamas agreed to Gaza ceasefire and hostage deal. So it happened. This is big news. Israel and Hamas have agreed to a deal that will pause fighting in Gaza and lead to a phased release of hostages and Palestinian prisoners. Qatar's prime minister has confirmed. Implementation of the temporary ceasefire will start on Sunday, the prime minister said. Hamas is expected to release 33 hostages during the first phase of an emerging deal. Hundreds of Palestinian prisoners are set to be released from Israeli jails at the same time. The Israeli cabinet still needs to approve the agreement. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said he won't officially comment until all details are final. So, I mean, I would say as of right now, that's what I would say is like the biggest last hurdle in this that I would, that I see or I've heard. But that being said, most outlets are covering this as like, no, the ceasefire it has been approved. It's a go. The release of the hostages would be the first phase of the deal being finalized. Negotiations to reach the second phase, which is intended to end the war, would begin on the 16th day of the implementation of the deal. They have more details, but we're not clicking on that. And then U.S. President Joe Biden said talks will go beyond the temporary ceasefire to a phase 2 of the deal that would include a permanent end of the war, as he officially announced the deal. Also, there's already a scrambling from both sides, Biden's side, Trump's side, to claim credit for this. And, for Biden, he's already on the defensive about it. Like anyone who's trying to tell him otherwise, it's like, are you serious? Like, no, that's a joke if you think Trump was in any way responsible for this. And on Trump's side, I mean, I haven't like actually read it, but you already know the playbook. Essentially, he's saying, hey, you guys got this deal done because you knew Big Daddy Trump's gonna come and fucking fix everything, like I said, and you did what I said. You fixed it before I even had to get in. That is the Trump effect, baby. Like you can paraphrase that, but I'm sure you're reading that right now. I've already seen some shit like that. Okay, awesome, great, we love that. Also, though, it's worth noting, I was kind of just ticker surfing, just kind of seeing some headlines or whatever, and they've already backed from the Trump camp has already backed from like what Trump has initially said from the campaign, which was when it comes to Ukraine and Russia, which was like, hey, it's probably not going to be 24 hours like we said. It's probably going to be like, I don't know, more like some months. We'll see. So I love that. That's very fluid of them, very, very adaptive. And this is a bit of side news. I know we're talking about Israel and Palestine, but we've covered two conflicts for a while now. There was some exchange, missile exchanges between Ukraine and Russia. That's been a big thing, just, because it's obviously we're doing, wintertime actions and things like that. So especially in the situation from, Russia sending it back to Ukraine, that tends to do a lot of damage potentially to their infrastructure and their power in the middle of winter. So that's obviously no good. But yeah, this, I hope, is good news. Once again, cycling back to Israel and Palestine. I'm hoping that this holds, though. I mean, we've covered ceasefires between Israel and Lebanon. We've covered the 2-week ceasefire that Israel had before with Hamas and how that was pretty Swiss cheese. I mean, we'll see how it goes. But I want to take the moment and say, hey, I think this is at least a good moment. Now, is this peace? Of course not. No, sadly, no, it's not. It's not any kind of resolution whatsoever. Not to mention, I don't even want to get into the weeds about it and then bum myself out, obviously. But, I mean, we'll see how this shit goes. There's more details, and I'm sure there's going to be even more details developing, ongoing. I'll try to cover the highlights, but that was big, and I really wanted to start off with some fucking good news, So, hell yeah to that. You know what? Actually, hell yeah to the next story too. We got a little pair of good news, from CNN. South Korean president arrested by anti-corruption investigators after weeks-long showdown. They got him, boys. They got him. No. South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol was arrested for questioning on Wednesday, the latest chapter of a weeks-long political saga that began with the embattled president's shock martial law decree last month. Yoon left his residential compound with investigators in a motorcade, the first time such an action has been taken against a sitting president in South Korea. Yoon is wanted for questioning in multiple criminal investigations related to his short-lived declaration, including over accusations of leading an insurrection, a crime punishable by life imprisonment or even the death penalty. Now, I don't think he's gonna get either of those two things, but the fact that it is on the table made me go, God damn, that's crazy. They apparently South Korea, they're the Republic of Korea, the ROK. They're really about their fucking democracy. They're like, hey, if you fuck that shit up, off with your head. I don't know. That's crazy to me. But hey, you really shouldn't have a fucking temper tantrum like this. And then I love the idea that he's literally just been held up with, once again, his little presidential Praetorian guard, more or less. And I guess somehow, some way, I didn't get too many details on it, but I think it involved them like more or less saying like, we're gonna make another push for this shit. We have this deadline. We want to get him. So they make a play for him. It is a long scuffle, but eventually they do manage to get to Yoon and arrest him. And I'm like, good. Fucking good. Now, I mean, granted, we'll see. I think it's like a 48-hour hold that they get to have here post the, arrest warrant or whatever. So, I mean, we'll see how this goes. Actually, let's go ahead and keep reading. As of Wednesday evening, Yoon had refused to answer investigators' questions or comment and had refused to allow the sessions to be recorded. An official with the Corruption Investigation Office for High-Ranking Officials, or CIO, told reporters. Yoon was moved from the CIO headquarters to a nearby detention center where he's been held overnight in solitary confinement due to safety reasons. Also, I have to add this, and maybe I've said this before, but anytime I hear the phrase solitary confinement, I think of a Dexter's Lab episode where they pretty much put Dexter in the shoe, like Adzak or whatever, like the little, like, just by himself in a hot box. Solitary confinement for the criminal. And I get triggered to that. I don't know why. It just takes me to that. And I'm sorry. You're just in the mind of Mencia right now. My bad. Where are we at? I got a little misplaced. The embattled president has been holed up in his fortified residence for weeks, surrounded by his presidential security service team, evading arrest as he faces several probes, and an impeachment trial. The warrant allows investigators to hold Yoon for up to 48 hours from the time he was detained until around 10 a.m. local time Friday. The CIO would need to apply for an arrest warrant within that period to detain him further. Now, both sides have kind of come out to protest, as they have pretty much, I guess, since jump. Well, really, it was a lot of anti-Yoon protesters in the beginning, since like with the martial law shit. But then, pretty quickly, pro-Yoon people came out in support. So, I mean, that's kind of crazy. I just couldn't imagine glazing a guy who essentially was screaming to take your rights away because he was losing in a political situation. Like that's crazy to me. Like, nah, you think you guys are gonna impeach my guys? Nah, I'm fucking declaring martial law. I'm getting you all locked up. You're going to a gulag. You're working with North Korea. Like, that's crazy. Like, and to hear some of the dialogue too that he was saying to people, and it's good that once again, you have in the situation this Trump-like January 6th style situation where you do have people stepping up and saying, "No, dude, what you're doing is wrong." Even with people within his own fucking party. So, I mean, here we are. We will see how things go from here now that he is in custody. I'm kind of, once again, put my little speculation hat on. I don't think we're really going to get much out of this, but at the same time, the stakes are high. So who knows? And also, even though this is like historic, the fact that this is like a sitting president, I've talked about this before, South Korea does not play when it comes to their presidents potentially being like corrupt or whatever. Like the second they feel it, that vibe, they're like, nah, we're gonna give you some jail time, bro. Like, when you're out of here, we're yapping your ass up. You're going to jail, bro. No $200. So, I mean, that's pretty serious. Like I said, apparently they are very serious about our democracy. I mean, and good for them, I guess. Whatever. Anyway, let's go ahead and move along. Speaking of, political processes and things of that nature, we got a Trump cabinet update. And we had some good notes. So I'm going to actually, I don't really rarely do this. Take a little intermission. Why not? You know what I mean? I'm going to bask in this good news. I'm gonna be positive though and drink some water. That'll be good. Hydration. You know what? I'm personally thinking that was a good decision. Okay. Dude, once again, this is a hat trick, CNN hat trick. Calling it in. Not sponsored. Promise. Never. Never would that happen. Anyway, from CNN, takeaways from the second day of Trump cabinet confirmation hearings. Now, much like how we did the other day with Pete Hegseth, I'm not hitting everything. I really just want to hit the highlights. I felt bad that I forgot or I missed the part about him like talking to Trump saying, hey man, these two dudes who did like war crimes, you should like get them pardoned. You should get them like freed up. And he did. And I'm like, dude, these dudes like killed like just brown kids just because, you know, like slit their throats and shit, like just gross shit. And it's like, oh no, that's okay actually, you know what I mean? That those are our boys. I don't care about the international shit. Like once again, these guys have a litany of shit. Like this is a rogues gallery of villains that are going into this cabinet. And obviously my podcast is not going to do them justice. So, you know, we're going to do some breezing, of course, for the sake of time, hopefully. Hopefully I don't get too in the weeds. But yeah, let's see. Donald Trump's cabinet nominees for key roles in intelligence, foreign policy, and law enforcement agencies all pledged to keep politics out of their offices amid concerns from Democrats that the president-elect will carry out his vows to go after his political enemies once in the office. The big focus for today was definitely Pam Bondi. She was pretty much like Trump's ace lawyer in a lot of situations. Once again, a maven in her own right, I would say. That being said, she had a sense of political deftness to her, like agility, if you will, where she was answering a lot of questions, but in that political way, even though she's like, I'm not going to be political, of like, you know, saying, yeah, yeah, Joe Biden is the president. But like the question was like, do you believe that he actually won? And it's like, and she's like, hey, I was with Trump in Pennsylvania and I saw things. And like she's saying it like she like saw like illegal activity. Like she saw 1,000 Democratic horrors or something. And it's like, okay, but you didn't have a way of actually proving that shit in court. So, I mean, go off though, I guess. Oh, okay, cool. They also, you know, Democratic senators asked like, hey, would you pursue people like Jack Smith? Because you talked about like bad lawyers and stuff like that deserve to be punished. Something I'm paraphrasing or whatever. And essentially she's like, no, I wouldn't do something like that. Like I'm not going to weaponize this office like or this position, whatever, like previous you know, like Merrick Garland, essentially. So she's just kind of throwing shade back, you know, in the most political savvy cunt way she can. And, I mean, once again, all these people are going to most likely glide through. Like, Hegseth was the biggest barrier, and essentially, more or less, people came out of that saying, no, like, we want him. That's our guy. And if they have the majority, which, you know, they do, so they're just going to toss it through. Like, it's fine for them. So most likely, Pam Bondi's going to be in. Rubio is apparently liked. People like that motherfucker, which is gross. Like, and I don't just mean his people. I don't just mean conservative. Obviously, I say it that way. I'm not trying to be fucking zesty or crazy. But like, Democrats, you know, liberals apparently like him. And I'm like, that's bullshit. This is, once again, it's giving the game away yet again. That it's like all these motherfuckers are just in the pot. They don't give a fuck, dude. Because like, no, some of the shit that I've heard Mark Rubio say just in like random ass Fox News interviews or whatever, just his general ethos on a lot of fucking things. Like, no, this dude is a bad guy. And it's like, no, he's good though. He's good. He's pro NATO. Yeah, Trump's not, you know, sure. Yeah. But you know, he was with Ukraine, you know, maybe not so much now that he's, you know, fully in Trump's pocket here, but like, he knows the deal. He knows the script. He's going to do the right thing. None of these people are going to do the right thing. These are all people at the beck and call of Trump. Trump is not playing. We've talked about this fucking shit before. All these people are going to play their exact fucking roles to a T. So when she says she's going to, like, more or less politically not, like, I'm going to do the right thing, she's going to do whatever she is asked because she's played her position to get to this point. All of them have. all of these motherfuckers. So, I mean, cool, great, good for her, good for Rubio. I don't know. There's like a guy, Sean Duffy. I don't care, man. Like there's a few people. Was it John Ratcliffe? I don't fucking know, man. There's a lot of schmucks in this fucking hen house. Yeah, it's John Ratcliffe. Boom, boom goes the dynamite. He's CIA director nominee. Um, what is He's gonna take Rubio's gonna take Blinken's spot. Secretary. I always get this fucking wrong. Fuck. Secretary of State. Boom. Okay, because I was definitely gonna get it wrong. Fuck me. Hegseth was defense. I always get them fucking kind of confused a little bit sometimes. Mea culpa. But yeah, I mean, and there's other guys. I'm not gonna mention more people who are coming down the pipe. That doesn't really matter now. We'll save them for later. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of a little bit of an update on the cabinet situation. Yeah, there's another guy. There's some random dude. I don't want to dwell on it. Whatever. Well, if he does something relevant, then we'll circle back to it one day. Anyway, we have one more thing to cover, and then I'll let you go. Meanwhile, segue. I'm once again just trying to cram news here. Apparently, and I'm just once again just fully riffing this, so I might not be 100% correct. And like the news immediately changed once I like posted it about it on Facebook or whatever. Mark's at whatever they're calling it on Meta, whatever. Anyway, Drake apparently dropped a lawsuit with UMG and Spotify, but I think he's just gonna focus it on the UMG, the Universal Music Group, which I think is technically employs both him and Kendrick. I don't fucking know, and I should Google it or whatever. But excuse me, whoa. But I was like, okay, yeah, that's a thing. Anyway, I didn't want to make any dead time, and I was like, I should, I'll cover it maybe tomorrow or something. Fuck that shit. It's not that big a deal. Anyway, we'll see. I'll keep you posted if I hear anything more relevant about it. It'll pop up again, maybe. Anyway, let me continue this break. We're on break. I'm on break talking about work. I'm so crazy. All right, from Yahoo Life. Shit, dude, I should Yahoo get a life. Anyway, FDA announces ban on red dye No.3. Here's what to expect and why some families already avoid the food coloring. The Food and Drug Administration announced on January 15th that it is revoking authorization of the food dye known as red dye No.3. The agency had been reviewing a petition to ban the petroleum-based colorant since 2022, with questions about the dye's possible health effects growing in recent years. Now, I want to pause right here and maybe get a little personal, right? I love to do that. My name's on the fucking shit. Of course I do. It's weird when I didn't pay any attention to this in 2022. It went over my head. That being said, when I started hearing about it, maybe last week or so, it started becoming a little talking point. I was like weirdly defensive about it. And maybe this is like the boomer millennial in me or something, where I was like, man, whatever this is, I'm sure I've had it and I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I'm a modicum. I'm a vision of health. I don't know what was running through my lizard fucking brain here, my larded ass brain. But once I heard words like petroleum, once I heard some of the potential things about what red dye might be doing to people, I kind of just I was like, you know what I need to do with my dumb ass? I need to sit down and I need to listen. And I'm thinking about this shit. Am I a little resistant? Am I still gonna maybe eat some of these things? Maybe I have eaten some of these things maybe 10 minutes ago. Maybe not. Maybe, probably. But anyway, let's talk about just what are some things that have potential red dye No.3 in them. Gummies, ice cream cones, frostings, toaster pastries, fruit cocktails. I don't know why, but fruit cocktails and strawberry flavored drinks. I was like, oh damn, so like they didn't swap that out or anything, huh? Like, but apparently some food brands and stuff have already done this, just because it's already a thing in California. They were ahead of the game with this. But let me just go ahead and read this portion right here. CNN reports that some of the most popular food and beverage brands either never used red dye number 3, also known as FDC or FD&C red number 3, or had stopped using it in the recent years. For example, Just Born, the company behind Peeps, stopped using red dye number 3 after Easter of 2024. Now, once again, let me get personal. The Sour Punch straws I bought. Look, I was feeling good. I was feeling myself. I was like, Daddy wants a little junky snack. So I went in my little refrigerator and sure enough, after I read this article, I just quick Googled. And, obviously I don't know for sure. I could just read it. I don't know. Maybe I'll let it be a little mystery. Schrodinger's red dye number 3. But it definitely, yeah, I got the strawberry one. So, survey says, I probably got this shit. It's running through my veins right now. I'm going crazy. no. Let me see here. I kind of want to get along here. Here we go. I think it's from a parent here. Let me scroll back up. Though it won't go into effect until 2027, the California Food Safety Act is being applauded by some parents who say red food dye number 3 has already been banned from their own households. One is the father of 3, Matt Parks, who tells Yahoo Life that he and his wife try to do their best to keep their children from having red dye number 3. We very strictly limit the amount of red dye that our kids have, noting that they're especially cautious with their younger daughter. We have noticed that when she eats red food dye, her ability to regulate emotions becomes impaired. She is very easily agitated and upset, far more than normal. It's gotten to the point where she even notices the change. Park says he has ADHD and notices that when he has products with red dye number 3, he feels more irritable and agitated. It's not a cause of those symptoms, but it does seem to be a trigger, he says. Now, this had me thinking thoughts, because I'm like, what if my sour loving ass, my boomer millennial ass who's just probably been flooded with this shit, red dye number 3. What if this shit, y'all, is just flowing through my shit like the black symbiote in Spider-Man? You know what I mean? And I'm on some carnage shit. Yo, is that my legal defense? Is that like, if I ever get in, it's like, Your Honor, I shudder to think, I think I have been flooded with red dye number 3, and that's why I did X, Y, and Z. Okay, Your Honor, I'm sorry, but I am not responsible. It's the dye talking to me through me. Yeah, I don't know. No, personally, I still have that kind of like, But it also made me think too, and they mention it, where it's like, oh, remember all those times where like, a mom or parent, whatever, says, oh, I don't want my kid to eat X thing, Y thing, because they get super hyper. They bounce off all the walls and stuff. And another parent says, like, Connie Conrad, here we go, or Carrie Conrad, I'm sorry. Carrie Conrad, a mother of 3, says her kids may have red food dye 1 or 2 times a year at birthday parties, noting that every time we do it, we regret it. Conrad said her children most recently had the dye in pink cotton candy at a Renaissance festival, and it didn't end well. My kids lose control over themselves. They're screaming, running, rebelling. The kids aren't able to connect or register any safety rules. It's pure chaos. Pure chaos. Anyway, And there's a part of me, once again, I don't know why. Maybe once again it's the red dye talking. It's like, are we just putting all our world's ills on like other things? Like, and this being blue here, left is, I don't know. I don't think so though. I think we are talking chemical things. It's not just parents saying these things. It's like medical experts and shit. And I know some people post COVID all of a sudden don't believe in doctors. Maybe they never did. Okay. I mean, they reference a guy. Was it Dr. Daniel Gangian? I like that name. Um, but he's overall like, he's like, look, dude, I love the idea of banning red food dye. He's like, I think that this is a good thing. He likes that parents are like are getting more food conscious. And it's like, yeah, that's probably for the best. I think it's a good thing that we are getting rid of this at the end of the day, despite the fact that once again, I'm going to eat my little sour gummies and let it rot my brain because, it feels good, like I'm sure there were more heads, and so I don't regret a second, y'all. I don't regret a single candy. Anyway, that's it. That's all I really got for today. If you'd like to help out, support the effort, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/Isaiah News. Feel free to hit me up at isaiahnews1@gmail.com if you want to hit me up the old-fashioned way. And then let's see here. Any of the socials. I mentioned Facebook. There's X, the Everything app. You can find me there. Let's see. YouTube. Hit the subscription button. Hit the subscribe. Boop, 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 boop. That's a free action. And like it helps out for me, helps out for you. Hit the like button. That's also helpful to me. And that just maybe hopefully feels good to you. Feels good for the both of us, I would hope. Don't hit the dislike button. That's crazy. Don't do that. You're weird. You're cringe if you do that. So don't do it. Leave a cool comment. And I don't know. Sharing is caring. Rinse and repeat if you're doing that on Spotify. That's a cool free action to do for the gang, for the Newsy gang. But yeah, thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.